Unboxing this quick release plate from Andoer. A quick release plate comes with a clamp and the quick release plate itself. The quick release plate can be quickly released in two modes usually. Either you have this screw here on the side, and the screw here on the side allows you to just screw the whole thing tighter and also looser. But on here, on this specific one, what we also find is this handle. So this handle allows you to quickly put the whole thing together or move it apart. So if we now take the quick release plate itself and then mount it into this here, ideally this screw here and this handle of the screw are inside, and then we can put this into the quick release clamp, and then we take the lever and it is basically moving. You can have it in here, and then we press the lever up until the point of where it basically locks itself, and then the whole thing is tightened. So now on a GorillaPod 5K, for example, we also find the same mechanism. And wouldn't it be nice if there was a standardization for how thick these plates can get, and also just the dimensions of these plates, such that I could fit the same quick release plate, not the clamp, but the plate, into different styles of clamps. So I could fit the same clamp that then is attached to the device I want to have into different clamps here. And this is actually possible, and this standard is called Arca Swiss. So this is an Arca Swiss mechanism, or at least that's the standard for how big these plates can get. This is, I think, fairly common in photography. I got this for my Canon EOS 50 M50, and what this now allows me to do is to have one quick release plate in here, and I already tried this out. If I have my case, so I do have a rubber case around my Canon EOS M50, and if I have this, then I can open the battery department, but only up to the point where I can release the SD card. I cannot release the battery though, which is a little bit of a bummer. Maybe if I got rid of the case and I then would open it, it would open, but I don't know. It seems to probably also not work. So then we can take this handle and just screw it very tightly, and now this plate itself is attached to the camera. So now, if I'm in the studio, I can use my normal studio tripod, which is not necessarily a studio tripod, it is just a little big for traveling. So what I have in here is also a quick release plate, but this is a different clamp and plate system. This is from the tripod itself, it's by Hammer. So what I also got is an additional clamp that I can attach to this here, and this is where I got this clamp actually for. So I can take this, and then there is also this pin on here, and this pin is also found usually on a few other devices as well. So if I now attach this, and this is a 3/8 thread, and the adapter, I cannot do it with my hands now, but with this clipper here. So this is an adapter, it's basically a tube that has also a thread on the inside, and this adapts to the otherwise found 1/4 inch thread. So this is the one that is usually basically as big as the hole on the camera, as the thread on the camera, and this is the one that is usually used for ball heads and also for quick release plates. So I can now take this quick release plate from Andoer, and I now try to attach this here. As I'm attaching this, every time it basically moves on this pin, and this pin then prevents me from further screwing this down, then I need to touch this pin here, and then I can only rotate further. This seems to prevent the quick release plate or also any other things that are attached to here from rotating around probably. So now this is attached, the problem is just it is attached in the wrong direction. So usually this here is to adjust the tilt. So the camera is usually mounted like this, and then you can adjust the tilt with this thing here. You can also adjust the tilt sideways with this mechanism here. So this, if unscrewed, and if you unscrew into the right direction, allows you to adjust the tilt slightly. But it doesn't work like the other one, which is obviously a lot better. And also this here, screwing this, allows you to basically loosen the mechanism, and then just screwing it tightens it again. Partially made for filming. So now what I tried before already is to screw this another fourth basically of a full rotation, and this worked before, but it does seem to not work now. The reason for this is that the pin prevents the whole thing from rotating. So if I now press this pin, then I should be able to rotate this a little bit further. But it's fairly hard to grab. So now I actually rotated it again into the wrong direction, so now it previously did work, but now it seems, now the pin is again in the way. So maybe I shouldn't do this too often, because otherwise my super old and cool and cheap tripod might break. So now it is basically aligned, and what this means now is that I can take my camera, attach this here by first of all opening this lever, then I can take this here, first on one side, first on the other side, and then close this lever again, and the camera is attached. And of course the tripod head itself also needs to be steady, but I now can take this, rotate this however I like. Now if I'm finished, I can press this lever on the side again, and then just release the whole thing. And I don't even have to screw like on other ball heads. So if, for example, I then wanna be on the go and I wanna have this here, this then also works because it's the same system. So I ideally have my left hand here, and then I can unscrew this whole thing. It's already unscrewed, I think. And then I can again take this, mount this in, and it was a little tight, so now it works. So again, get this in and attach this by screwing. So this here does not have a quick release lever, such as the one from Andoer I just unpacked, and this seems to be a little bit better, even though of course this makes the whole thing also a little bit bulkier. The whole idea now is to have quick release plates attached to all my devices, also the zoom here, which is usually attached to my ceiling, and then I have it as an audio interface on top here. And for this reason I also get an additional roll-eye ball head, because the ball heads I previously had did not have quick release plates and clamps, so I would have needed to get them anyway. Here what we find is that the plate itself is already kind of the top of the ball head, which is fairly nice, but this here will be in the next video. So that's in short the quick release plate, Arca Swiss, and it was from Andoer, this one, and I will use this to have it attached to my tripod, and the second one will be, so the plate itself will be attached to my camera then.